Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.
Welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I am your host, Marie Antonette Waite, and we are here on KCAA. And our guest is Andrea Piontkovski. She is a real estate lawyer. It's an immigration lawyer in San Diego. And I'm really excited to learn more about what she does. So, Andrea, tell us about your legal services on the immigration side. And I'm sorry I said real estate because I'm connected to real estate. I always think about real estate, but
it's not because you prefer real estate attorneys, right?
Yeah. It's just automatic in my mind, real estate, and that's how it is sometimes. But anyway, tell us everything about what you do on the immigration side of it.
Well, immigration is super wide. And when I started practicing, I was like, okay, well, at the beginning, I wanted to do a lot of things. I wanted to practice family, immigration, business, everything. But then I realized that you gotta try to become an expert in one thing before you start doing other things. And I realized immigration was so complicated because it's not the typical case that we hear in movies or your friend. No, you have a very wide field of options. So I'm trying to focus my practice in the business side of immigration, which compounds cases like extraordinary ability, investment visas, and also, of course, everything that is related to the family side. It's amazing that there are a lot of Americans who find love abroad. It's a thing. And so I love those visas because I'm part of those love stories. And we have probably spouses who are trying to bring family, kids, parents, or fiancés, or that part is very exciting. But I'm focusing more on the business side of immigration, which is something that I really admire. I love to see that smart people, talented people who have tried to do good things outside of the United States are trying to move that success here. And that's what I'm trying to get in.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that. I myself, came here with almost, I do have a bachelor's degree before I came into United States, but, starting from scratch and learning the culture and trying to understand how you can grow in this country, it took time because I have to also learn the English language. And then at the same time, I have to learn the culture and working with other people, right? So it's not the same people that I have to work with in the Philippines. They're totally different.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I even had to learn how to spell my last name. Like when I started working at a bank here, I remember I was spelling my last name with complicated words. For example, like A as an Albanian. And an American girl told me, Andrea, Americans are more basic. You just use A as an apple. So things that you don't learn in books or in courses, those are the things that you learn while you're living in the culture. Okay. And I'm glad I went through those stages because that make me who I am and that makes you who you are.
Yes. So let me ask you. So if there is someone who is trying to bring their family into United States, how long does it take normally to process that? And I know because from my relatives' stories, it took years to get their brothers or sisters.
Yes.
And I think that's something that I'm afraid of, doing something like that because it's so much work.
And that's a big critic that we had against the system, the immigration system. It's crazy that if you want to petition your sibling, it takes over 20 years. It's just insane. Wow. I have clients, I have family, I have friends who have been through that process. And it's amazing that some people wait in line, for 20, 25 years to come here legally, and truly admire that. And that's something that I believe that we need a reform because for me, my siblings are like my kids, they're like my children. So that I wish I could just petition my family and make them come here with
Mhm.
me. And I don't have that option because it's going to take 20, 25 years.
So what do you think about the open borders now? I mean, how does that affect what you're doing?
That's the contradiction of what I'm doing, because I'm trying to like inform people, educate people to do things legally, the right way, you know, like we came to this country the legal way. So I want others to do the same thing. And somehow I also see some politics, some new laws that allow people to come in, you know, without that waiting in line that we have seen before. So, you know, I'm just a big believer that the rules should be equal for everybody, you know. So if you have thousands of immigrants waiting all over the world, you know, you should give priority to those who have been waiting. That's my point of view. However, we also see some exceptions. For example, when you petition a spouse or a minor who is considered an immediate relative, then those petitions can take shorter than siblings petitions, for example.
Okay.
So to bring over a spouse or a minor, it could be a total of 2 years. That's the average between, you know, the initial steps until you get an interview at a consulate, because it's really slow nowadays to get an interview. But you know what I tell my clients when they go through that path is, you gotta be patient. You know, this is the system that we have. It's the best system that we know. We don't know any other. And you know, they get that feeling of, okay, well, you know what, let's start the process. Let's start doing it. And time flies. You know, if you think too much, then you don't do it. So that's what we try to do.
So are you able to help the people that have gone in because of the open border? I mean, do they still need your help in spite of coming in with?
Yeah, I mean, some people claim asylum when they come to the border. I particularly don't take those cases. That's not my field. That's not the area that I'm trying to focus on.
Okay.
But I do have a lot of colleagues who handle deportations, handle asylums in court, and probably those would be an option for them. Some people have like right cases, you know, they have an actual case of prosecution or persecution in their country. So if they have evidence of that, maybe they have a good case for asylum. But the problem is that not everybody has the basis for those claims. And people don't understand that filing a frivolous asylum, it's fraud. It's not good. So, you know, I live in a border city here. So many people thought I was going to be focused on that area, but no, that's not what I want. I prefer the family side of immigration, the business side of immigration, and I leave deportations to my colleagues because that would be too harsh for me.
Okay. Wow, it's there's a lot to learn on everything that you do, but we're very thankful that you are able to help those people that are trying to bring their families here in the United States. And with your process, it makes it possible for them to have a happy life and a fabulous lifestyle, right?
Yes, and that's my favorite part of the day.
Okay. Now, so where do you see you're in San Diego right now, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yes.
And so how long have you had your office in San Diego, and what is your vision for your company?
Well, I passed the bar in 2020, and I started working on my own from my bedroom that year because, we were in COVID. Nobody wanted to hire me. Which was a good thing at the end, because I was applying for jobs and I didn't get anything. I was getting discouraged. And I was like, maybe, just maybe, I should consider going on my own. I started doing contract work for nonprofits. And then officially I opened my first little office back in 2021. And, like when you start a business, you start hiring your first employee, you start doing, you're afraid of giving that next step, but then you realize that you need to move forward. And That's what I've been doing. I've been very cautious, but on my own pace, I'm trying to grow. And the project this year is to move to my own little suite, and hire another employee, hire more help, and keep helping more people. That's the goal.
Yeah, so it takes time for anybody who's starting a business. It's not easy. I know that.
It's not easy when you have to pay rent and payroll.
Yes. Exactly. And you have to have an office for your business, and it's, that's a lot of overhead that you have to worry about, and making sure that you're also there for your clients, with full customer service, that
Yes.
you can really represent yourself well to people. But I'm glad to hear that about your business. Now, we're going to take a commercial break here. And in our next segment, I want to talk about more of what you would like to for people to know in regards to your services, aside from doing the immigration process. What are the things that you would like people to know? So we're going to go talk about that in our next segment. So for all of you out there, don't go away. We are here with Andrea Piontkovski here at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I am your host, Marie.
We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports.